It is the holy grail of the LDS experience for education.
It was the only school I applied to. I knew that I wanted to be at BYU, and I was so excited to go.
I am Sebastian Stewart Johnson.
My name is Jillian Orr.
I'm Maddie Tenney.
My name's Julia Sassine, and I go to Brigham Young University.
There's definitely a challenge being on the BYU campus and then realizing that you're queer. There's a lot of anxiety and depression that goes into it because you want to live, I want to live authentically. But when you're in an environment where there are consequences for doing that, it's a scary thing to do.
The biggest challenge of being a black student at BYU would probably be the assumptions and stereotypes that are placed upon me. It's the little things every single day that just kind of wear you down.
I'm an active Latter-day Saint, and I hold my queerness and my religiosity in both hands. The hardest part for me of being queer at BYU is that loneliness.
I think I always knew I was a little different. For a long time, I thought my future was just gonna be alone. And then that all changed when I fell for a coworker at my job as a student employee on BYU campus. But for the first time, I began to envision and imagine a future with someone that I could love.
We started back in February when Brad Wilcox made a few racist comments in the fireside talk. And I had this idea, this thought that we could do something different. And so we recorded our first TikTok, and then after that, it just kept growing to us eventually asking students questions to highlight the fact that this is our daily reality for black students, but also just marginalized students everywhere.
They should be allowed to date, and I think it should be more normalized.
Amen to that.
We talk a lot about entering to learn and going forth to serve at BYU, but it's a lot different when you have to enter into your own heart and going forth to serve people that don't look like you. The first time I heard Maddie Easton's name was as a missionary. I remember just sitting there and crying and thought, someone gets it. Someone sees us, and someone's willing to stand up and say something.
This is a new chapter in my life. I'm graduating, and I want to live more authentically, live more honestly. And more than that, I want to give visibility to the other students who are gay who maybe aren't so ready to come out.
I stand before my family, friends, and graduating class today to say that I am proud to be the gay son of God.
It was really scary for him to do that, and he faced a lot of backlash. It also created a lot of hope. And as queer BYU students, that hope is what we live on.
I decided that I wanted to make a statement, that I would be seen, but also that other students that were going through what I had gone through, that they were seen too. Am I gonna pass out? Am I gonna trip? Because I was wearing heels too, so there's no guarantees there.
The mission of the Rainbow Collective is to create safe spaces at BYU and to create networks of allyship across the state of Utah.
When we're interviewing students on campus, we hope to achieve that a greater awareness and education comes from it. Seeing millions of people watch us and be interested in focused on us, that was crazy to me. It was also very heartwarming because it made me know that there's people behind me that will fight too.
So Cougar Pride Center is a student-run, student-led organization to support the LGBTQ students at BYU. One of the annual events that the Cougar Pride Center puts on each year is a Pride March in June.
Attending my first Pride Parade was beautiful. I loved it. One of my favorite things was the feeling of community and love there.
We have Rainbow Day once a year where we all dress up in rainbow and we celebrate our inherent beauty as queer children of our heavenly parents. And then we also do other events like Lighting the Y and Back to School Pride Night.
Camera was looking at me and they said, Jillian Orr, and I opened my gown and I smiled. And it was this rush just of like, I did it. This is it. Some of the Black Menaces were sitting there actually. They turned around, they're like, yeah, like that was awesome. And it was so cool to see that the other students supported that. And the other students were like, that was awesome.
We have to be for each other. Because if I, a black person, am not supporting the queer community, how can I say that I'm against oppression?
Lighting the Y as a queer community is a way for us to show those that may not be out, but are queer or have queer family or friends that they're loved and that they do belong at BYU.
The more authentically you live, the happier you're going to be.
You have the potential for such greatness.
You are whole, you are complete,
You're loved.
and you're not alone.